I think the main reason was a slight shift in Israeli public opinion. Israelis still support the genocide, but they have grown tired of the war. I'm optimistic not because I think Israel is committed to peace. Israel is not committed to peace. If I were a Palestinian, I would not trust Israel in any way, shape, or form. This is all a long ways away. The situation in Gaza is horrific. The simple presence of stability, a lack of bombings, a lack of Israeli attacks is a remarkable, radical change. There's no doubt that Donald Trump's impending presidency played a major part in the ceasefire. He joined hands with President Biden, and together they applied concentrated American pressure to our Prime Minister Netanyahu. I don't think that was the main reason. I think the main reason was a slight shift in Israeli public opinion. Israelis still support the genocide, but they have grown tired of the war because it is impacting our own lives here in a very significant way. Our Prime Minister Netanyahu is a very consummate politician. He realized that this shift was happening, and he then knew that his time was up, and if he wanted to win the next election, then he would have to not just be the one who fought the war, but also the one who brought the deal. I think that was the main reason. It's not so much about the measures. I think most of this has to do with Israelis' resilience. I'm optimistic not because I think Israel is committed to peace. Israel is not committed to peace. If I were a Palestinian, I would not trust Israel in any way, shape, or form. But I think this will hold because I really do feel that Israelis are exhausted. Israelis feel like they don't have any real military options or achievements. They don't feel like their security has been improved by 15 months of war, and they don't trust their leadership. I think Israel will do its best to make this a hard process and a lengthy process, but ultimately I think Israel will follow American requests, and will also do so because of Netanyahu's political reasons that I just mentioned. I am cautiously optimistic that signing this deal is the first step towards ending Israeli presence in Gaza and ending the war, despite protestations to the contrary by the Israeli religious right. I think this is much more connected to the potential policies of the Trump administration. This is a decision Donald Trump will have to make. I think at some level there's a thought that this deal would be a cornerstone for a new arrangement that would include Israel, Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, perhaps other countries that would join a broader Abraham Accords framework. I don't know if that's actually going to happen, but I get a sense that Israel will not play rogue as it did under Biden. It will be much more responsive to the needs and interests of its allies in the region. I think Israel has an interest in promoting some kind of overall settlement, but this is difficult politically. So while I think regional geostrategics will take time to evolve, and we're looking at a process that will take several years, I think we will see changes in Israeli politics, particularly an election that may land Netanyahu back in power. The first step that I think is probably the most essential is allowing, I think the number was about 600 trucks of aid a day into Gaza. This is a test for Israel to see if it manages to do that. If it manages to do that, I think reconstruction will mostly be out of Israel's hands. This will either be conducted through the PLO or the Palestinian Authority, or a multi-state consortium, I would assume would be headed by Gulf countries who would be looking to enhance their regional status. This is all a long ways away. The situation in Gaza is horrific. The simple presence of stability, a lack of bombings, a lack of Israeli attacks is a remarkable, radical change. It'll take weeks and months before we start talking about reconstruction.